charges the Alamance County District Attorney announces after an investigation into a deadly officer-involved shooting. A Graham officer involved in the shooting will not face any charges related to this death investigation. The shooting occurred back on January 28th of 2020. Justin Schreier is live outside of the Alamance County Courthouse with more details. Justin.
And good afternoon to you. Sean Boone, the Alamance County District Attorney, characterized this incident as an accident. Now, this stems from an encounter back in January of 2020 after Graham police officer Marcus Pollock and two other Graham officers went to a home to arrest Jaquan Light, who was wanted for simple assault and probation violations. The DA says he was shot after he ran out through the front of the home and into Pollock. One shot was fired by that officer. The DA says, along with evidence of the injury to Light, poor lighting conditions outside the home, body cam video from 3 officers, and a lot of other evidence, no probable cause exists. Now, Boone says while the death of Light is tragic, he believes from the evidence that night, Light nor the officer wanted to hurt one another. 2 assistant district attorneys, a DA investigator, and the district attorney reviewed all the evidence of that case independently.
Mr. Light did not cause, deserve, or ask for the results that evening. This was an accident. The lighting, the way the house was structured at the time, there was no intent by anybody to cause harm. And I want to make that clear.
It is important to note also that Light was unarmed, and the officer who fired that shot, his body camera was not activated until after the shooting. We'll have more, of course, tonight at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock on WXII. Live in Alamance County tonight, Justin Schreier, WXII 12 News.
All right, Justin, thank you so much. Also breaking right now at noon in Winston-Salem, civil rights groups and religious leaders are calling for more answers in the death of a man at the Forsyth County Jail. The Winston-Salem chapter of the NAACP, along with the Ministers Conference, just spoke about the death of John Neville. Forsyth County Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough also attended. Neville died in December from a brain injury due to cardiac arrest. Autopsy reports say his heart stopped after multiple employees at the Forsyth County Detention Center restrained him face down. 5 former detention officers and a nurse are all facing involuntary manslaughter charges in Neville's death. And for a 3rd day in a row, demonstrators calling for full transparency as John Neville's death is investigated. They're calling this protest Occupy the Block. The group is demanding Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough and District Attorney Jim O'Neill answer questions about jail policy changes that were made following this incident and how charges were determined in the case.
Breaking news now out of Washington this afternoon. The Pentagon is banning displays of the Confederate flag on military installations. The AP obtained a memo signed by Defense Secretary Mark Esper. The policy is carefully worded and does not mention the word ban or that specific flag. However, the memo also lists the types of flags that can be displayed on bases, such as the U.S. and state flags and the POW MIA flag. Well, the Confederate flag is not on the list. Turning now to your forecast, a live look over Greensboro this afternoon. Sunshine out there, no cloudy skies just yet. Meteorologist Carly Cassidy joining us now live. Carly, it looks like both the heat and storm chances could be building today.
Right, both of them are for today and for the rest of your weekend. Already 89 degrees in Greensboro, where you see that sunshine, blue skies. Do have a mixture of some sun and clouds out there across the area, but definitely already feeling those awfully warm temperatures and that higher humidity. 83 Mount Airy, 86 North Wilkesboro, and about 79 in Galax. So there's some of that cloud cover. Not a bad lunch hour out there, and we do have mainly dry conditions. Out towards the west, very light activity, not even all of this reaching the ground, so not really talking the storms just yet, but we are going to be watching for that for this afternoon and into the evening. Have about 60 to 50% chance for the mountains, and then about 20% for tonight. Again, staying scattered, not raining the entire time, and back towards the mid-80s. For the foothills, about 50% afternoon, evening with that alert icon, and low 90s as the day does go on. And for the Triad, about 92, keeping that 50% chance for the afternoon, evening, and then also a little bit longer into tonight. But we'll take a look at that hour-by-hour forecast coming up in a few minutes.
In your coronavirus headlines, the number of cases continues to climb across the United States. Right now, more than 3.5 million people are infected. That's according to an NBC News count. Sadly, close to 140,000 people have lost their lives to this highly contagious virus. We are awaiting an update right now from the North Carolina cases from health state officials. And we also know that the United States is now stretching the ban on cruise ships because of all of this until the early fall. The no-sail order was first implemented on April 9th, and the CDC has updated its order through September 13th. Georgia's governor and Atlanta's mayor face off, going mask to mask over requiring face coverings. Governor Brian Kemp is suing Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms over the city's face covering mandate. Now, this lawsuit claims the mayor overstepped her authority, and Atlanta must follow the governor's executive order, which prohibits mask mandates.
I'm confident that Georgians don't need a mandate to do the right thing. Instead of issuing mandates that are confusing and unenforceable, I'm asking all local leaders to enforce the current executive order.
It's a waste of taxpayer money, and we are spending time fighting each other when this virus doesn't understand politics and doesn't respect that it's the state or it's the city. It's impacting us all.
Both Savannah and Athens enacted mask mandates prior to Atlanta, but those cities are not the focus of this lawsuit. Right now, morgues are at full capacity in South Central Texas because of COVID-19 related deaths. As a result of the postponement of many funerals due to social distancing guidelines, many areas are now seeing an increase in refrigerated trucks being brought in to store bodies. At least 2 are already operational in San Antonio, and 3 more will be set up by the weekend.
And happening now in North Carolina, state health officials are closely monitoring several trends to better understand how the coronavirus is transmitted here. Health Secretary Dr. Mandy Cohen says we are not meeting 2 of them. They include the number of people going to the emergency room with COVID-like symptoms and the number of lab-confirmed cases. She says both are increasing. 2 other trends are holding steady but remain a concern. The percentage of positive tests is holding at between 8 and 10%. Officials want to see that closer to about 5%. Hospitalizations are also going up, but the state has the capacity to handle the increase in patients.